Good morning, Vietnam. Am I blowing you out with the microphone there? It's always a crapshoot. So is the focus. Hey, I'm waving to myself so I can be clear. Good morning, everyone. We got Willie Bragg in the house, dropping a 10 spot right off the bat. This guy, in 2006, I was in London for a week. Of course, I took a one-day excursion trip to Paris. It was cool traveling underneath the English Channel, plus the 11 hours in Paris. The food was better in France. I would imagine so. English food, not exactly delicioso. Thank you for that, Willie. That's very cool of you. Got Ed Heller in the house. John Kemper's here as well. So quite the weekend of newsy stuff. We're going to get to it right here in just a second. Some of us so old, we got cloudy eyes. Looks cloudy. I know, right? Kind of looks cloudy. In more ways than one. I'm not going to get into the details. I'm a little bit under the weather. Let's just say the bodily functions didn't function as usual this morning. It's going to be interesting. But we're going to get through all this news. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, including it must be summer, and the day must end in a Y because there's another wildfire out in California. So we're going to get the latest on that. I believe that's up in NorCal. This is from NBC. Let's see what they have to say.
This morning, crews scrambling to gain the upper hand on a rapidly expanding firefight. The park fire has already blackened over 360,000 acres, quickly becoming one of the largest in California's history. The size and intensity of the flames generating so-called fire tornadoes, destroying dozens of homes in mountain communities of Northern California that are all too familiar with disasters like this.
There is so much trauma in our community. It wears on our first responders, firefighters, law enforcement.
New satellite images showing how a small fire sparked by a suspected arsonist exploded into a sprawling behemoth, burning through thousands of acres an hour across multiple counties. Firefighters working around the clock.
The line, of course, is the highway. They're trying to push the flames back as far as they can away from community centers.
It's just one of more than 110 active fires burning across the West. Wildfire smoke seen as far as New England. With other extreme weather in the South, severe flooding in Tennessee even reaching Dollywood, a road outside Dolly Parton's iconic park collapsing, and guests wading through water inside. After a local flash flood warning, drivers now urged to use caution, but authorities say the park will reopen later today.
And the big fear here is that the nation's largest wildfire could grow even larger. The good news is that the weather has been cooperating, allowing firefighters to get some containment. We're now up to 12%, but officials say this could last for months. Hoda?
All right, Steve Patterson near Chico.
Yeah, Steve Patterson, that guy, whatever his name is. So that's what's going on out there. The fire scorched about 350,000 acres, making it the seventh largest ever recorded in California history. Nearly 2,500 firefighters battling the blaze, aided by 16 helicopters and numerous air tankers. Park fire seems to be a common theme. I believe that place has been hit more than once in recent years, too. And it turns out that this one may have been actually started on purpose. It started on Wednesday near Chico in Butte County. That's Butte. And within hours had devastated a wide area there and in neighboring Tehama County. So, and that's not the only one either. It's pretty much California is just always covered in fires this time of year. So this is from Cal Fire, from the state California state government website. This is the 2024 incident archive for California, and you just see fires up and down California there. over 346,000 total emergency responses, 4,500 wildfires, 687,000 acres burned. Only one fatality so far, thank goodness. And a lot of structures there, 246. So you look at these, and it's a pretty good website. Tells you how much of the containment is. So you see a lot of these, like in San Joaquin, Fresno. A lot of these have already been taken care of. But this is the one that they're talking about here, the Park Fire, which started, like we said, July 24th. And so far, devastating thousands and thousands of acres. Yeah, and I remember living out in LA, noticing that it was so dry out there, and whenever you drove out on the freeway, you had like all this dry grass in the summertime, and all it took was just somebody just flicking their cigarette out the window, and that was it. I remember I was working at Borders Books in Hollywood over there on Sunset and Vine. And the fire was coming over the Hollywood Hills. It was like those houses over there were in danger. We thought it was going to come down there, but, you know, they managed to contain it in time. But I think places like Malibu and out there close to the actual coastline. Yeah, a lot of dry weather in California. Love the weather, but it's a blessing and a curse when it comes this time of year. And they could probably use a lot more rain than they get now. So, which the Olympics people, I'm pretty sure they were more than willing to give them some of the rain that was going on over there. What do you say, John? Those Illinois wildfires worry me? Yeah. I was seeing something today that were talking about, what's up, Miguel? I saw you up in there. Good to see you, bud. How in Chicago, how it's you're closer to the water, the storms are less likely to be severe because you're near that cooler lake water. But then as you get out into the suburbs of Chicago, woo, yeah, that's danger, Will Robinson. So, you know, but this is the crazy weather we're dealing with, not just here in America, but around the world. So, yeah, so the French over there in Paris have their opening ceremony this past Friday. This is the Daily Mail. I got this from the Daily Mail because I thought their take on it was just like so funny. So it says Olympics opening ceremony along famous French river is panned by viewers, describing it quote the worst as rain hampers the audio and urge stop the boats. So apparently they didn't do this in Olympic Stadium like they normally do. They did this outside by the river Seine, and it was raining, and yeah, it was no bueno. So yeah, needless to say, let's see, they had Lady Gaga and 3,000 dancers, and of course, I know what everybody wants to get to. We're going to get to that in a second. So this is them coming in. They were coming in. Instead of them walking in Olympic Stadium, they had them on the boats, right? And everybody was like, oh my God, come on with the boats. And these poor people just sitting out there. This guy, I think his face says it all. He's like, what? You know, a lot of rain. Then Great Britain over there. And then there's Lady Gaga. And they did this cool thing with the bridge thing. Is that smoke? I don't know what that is. That looks pretty cool, though. But then, of course, with the opening ceremonies, you had these characters. I believe, you know, Dionysus, a.k.a. Bob from the snack bar, who decided it was clothes optional, and apparently he liked being a Smurf. No, these were all these. They did the Last Supper in drag, which is these folks right behind Dionysus. And then these are people reacting to this is not like this with the opening game, same vibes. What is that? I can't remember that video game, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You gamers. Yeah, so needless to say, this the rain hampering it and all this. So apparently this pissed off the Christians, right? So, and full disclosure, I am a recovering Christian. I was a Southern Baptist in my youth, and then I escaped. So, but they were making comparisons to making fun of Christianity the way Charlie Hebdo's cartoon was making fun of Muhammad, right? And then they pop out. So they felt like it was safe to go after the Christians because the Christians don't tend to go after you. But if you knew some of the Christians I know, you probably wouldn't say that shit around them. So they had to do a mea culpa. The Paris Olympics organizers, they said they meant no disrespect with the Last Supper tableau. Paris Olympics organizers have apologized to any people who were offended by a tableau during Friday's opening ceremony evoking Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, but defended the concept behind it. All right, context. Paris Olympics organizers apologized to anyone who was offended. Da Vinci's painting depicts the moment when Jesus Christ declared that an apostle would betray him. The scene during Friday's ceremony featured DJ and producer Barbara Butch, an LGBTQ plus icon flanked by drag artists and dancers. Religious conservatives from around the world decried the segment, with the French Catholic Church's Conference of Bishops deploring, quote, sins of derision, quote, that they said made a mockery of Christianity, a sentiment echoed by Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova. The Anglican Communion in Egypt expressed its deep regret Sunday, saying the ceremony could cause the IOC to lose its distinctive sporting identity and its humanitarian message. The ceremony's artist director Thomas Jolly had distanced his scene from any Last Supper parallels after the ceremony, saying it was meant to celebrate diversity and pay tribute to feasting and French gastronomy. Paris 2024 spokesperson Anne Decamps was asked about the outcry during an International Olympic Committee news conference yesterday. She said, clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think with Thomas Jolly, we really did try to celebrate community tolerance. Looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are, of course, really, really sorry. Oopsie sauce. Didn't mean to piss you off there, Christians. What? Chad said I wasn't happy the French didn't shit the river. Who knows? They may have. Apparently, the Seine's not exactly clean. There's some water quality problems with the rain coming down. So, Willie says the Last Supper is not that big of a deal, and this lukewarm Christian, yours truly, finds no offense to this. Yeah, I know, right? It's just ridiculous nonsense. Everybody wants something to bitch about. So let's bitch about the Olympics. We'll have some more good stuff about the Olympics later in the shizzo. That's a promise from the Good Hands people. Speaking of good news, we have election results from Venezuela down there in our southern hemisphere. So Nicolas Maduro declared the victor of Venezuela's disputed presidential election. We're going to get to some of the shenanigans going on in our propaganda watch segment here in just a second. Election authority says Maduro, who faced a stiff test from a unified opposition, secured 51% of the vote. And there he is right there. Former bus driver. Incumbent Nicolas Maduro has been declared the winner of Sunday's presidential election, but the opposition said they were preparing to dispute the results. Elvis Amoroso, that was my stage name back in the 70s, president of the CNE Electoral Authority, said Maduro secured a third sixth term with 51.2% of the vote. Opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez Eurisha, who had been leading in the opinion polls, got 44.2%. He said. What was this? Oh, hey, thank you, John. He said, I was laughing at all the cringe devil BS if you believe in that sort of thing. Oh, you're talking about the Olympics? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people were comparing it to the opening ceremony for CERN too, where they had like all these pagan things and all that stuff. But yeah, so the Electoral Authority, which is controlled by Maduro loyalists, did not immediately release the tallies from each of the 30,000 polling stations nationwide. Opposition representatives said earlier that tallies they collected from campaign representatives at the centers had shown Gonzalez trouncing Maduro. In comment shortly after the announcement, Maduro said his reelection was a triumph of peace, stability, and reiterated his campaign trail claims that the voting system was transparent. We're going to get to that in just a second, too. Maduro first won power in 2013 after Hugo Chavez died from cancer. He's been accused of locking up critics and harassing the opposition, has failed to end a years-long economic crisis that has prompted more than 7 million of Venezuelans, 30 million citizens to immigrate, although he really did drop down the inflation rate. He managed to get that down despite all the shenanigans of the United States. So, okay, we can do that. No, there we go. Whoa, hello. All right, so in our, I should have done this first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media publishing the same things are true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
I got to get in there. I made the thing. I got to do that. So this is CNN. Both Venezuela strongman Nicolas Maduro and opposition claims election wins as U.S. voices serious concerns. Oh, do they have those serious concerns? And who else has serious concerns? I believe you can go down there. This jackass does.
If my colleagues will indulge me for just 1 minute, I want to speak quickly to the elections that just took place in Venezuela. We applaud the Venezuelan people for their participation in the July 28th presidential election. We commend their courage and commitment to democracy in the face of repression and in the face of adversity. We've seen the announcement just a short while ago by the Venezuelan Electoral Commission. We have serious concerns that the result announced does not reflect the will or the votes of the Venezuelan people.
Oh.
It's critical that every vote be counted fairly and transparently, that election officials immediately share information with the opposition and independent observers without delay, and that the electoral authorities publish the detailed tabulation of votes. The international community is watching this very closely and will respond accordingly.
That means the CIA's watching. They're like, the right person better win this. The hell? I know I had this in here. Where we go? That's not it. Where is it? I had this cool thing. Oh, here we go. All right. I don't know why this is way down here. Oh, and here's another. This was another fun one from Elon Musk, who was supporting Maria Corina. He was saying, you know, it's time for the people of Venezuela to have the chance for a better future. Support Maria Corina. I think that she's like the far right person or something. So yeah, you know, you're gonna have all these people saying, "Nah, if Maduro hadn't have won, they would say, you know what, that's fine, everything's good. Nothing to see here, folks." What's up, Desert Mantis? Good to see you. Yes, someone did say propaganda, but I found this this is very interesting. This is from the Convo couch, and they did. There was a few people online that did some breakdowns of the actual voting process, but I figured I'd spotlight Fee and Pasta and what they were covering here. So this here, this is just kind of a breakdown as what was going on. So Venezuela general election thread. This is actual footage of the vote process itself in Venezuela. If anyone is calling Maduro a dictator, they are simply repeating U.S. State Department talking points. Venezuela's elections are considered the most transparent in the South. So they come up here, and I guess this is like part of the thing. We don't really need the audio there. So they get up there, and he's like putting his phone and his keys up there, and it looks like this lady's giving him a breakdown. Good morning, Kate. Good to see you. So first, the voter will arrive at their designated precinct and will see which mesa they need to report to. All the information they need is posted at their specific location, which they are told is at upon registration. So this is aviso de identificación de la mesa electoral. So this gives you the information here, and then there's more information over here. Second, once they report to their room, they will show their ID, and that's what the guy was doing there, and use the thumbprint verification to verify who they are. So they show their ID, and they do a thumbprint, right? They're shown before going into the booth how the ballot will appear on the screen. The candidate endorsed for each party will appear under the name of the respective party, right? Third, after verifying their identity, the voter will then walk into the booth to select their candidate of choice on the electronic ballot. The machine will give the voter a chance to view their selection before printing out a receipt or tally, in which they will then walk over to the ballot box. This is all done within the purview of the public. Okay. And then finally, all the votes from the ballot boxes will be counted when the polls close in front of the public with results given on the same day. Stay tuned as we will highlight the counting process later tonight. And I imagine they're going to do that on their channel over there. So good job, the Convo Couch. I believe Mint Press News was down there. Is it DD Geopolitics, Mint Press, all those guys were down there, and we're part of the observation team checking out the elections down there. So anybody who's saying that these elections are rigged, it's going to be really hard to prove that, since they have, I don't know what it is in metrics, but a shit ton of witnesses saying the contrary. In other news around the world, Italy has decided to restore diplomatic ties with Syria. That's some interesting stuff with all the world turmoil going on. What do they call politics make strange bedfellows? Well, I'm sure war probably makes strange bedfellows too. So this is from antiwar.com. I should probably live there, maybe move a cot in over there. I use them so much. Dave DeCamp talking about Italy and 7 other European countries are calling on the bloc to reconsider its policy toward the government of Bashar al-Assad. So Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani has announced that Italy will appoint an ambassador to Syria for the first time in 12 years. According to the AP, Tajani said one reason why Rome was restoring ties with Damascus was to, quote, prevent Russia from monopolizing diplomatic efforts in the Middle Eastern country. And just a little quick side note. I think BRICS is starting to scare the hell out of the West. They thought it was some little fun thing at first. And now they're saying, well, you know, West, you're fucking around. And this is the find out portion of the show. So, yeah. So a little bit of, you know, gamesmanship here with Italy, you know, maybe hedging their bets with maybe not feeling it with the West. So the step to normalize relations with the government of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad comes after Italy and 7 other European Union members sent a letter to Joseph Borrell, the EU's foreign policy chief, urging a different approach towards Syria and a re-evaluation of sanctions on the country. Tajani says Italy received support to normalize with Syria from the other 7 signatories, which include Austria, Croatia, Greece, the Czech Republic. No cash in the Czech Republic, by the way. No credit cards either. Slovenia, Cyprus, and Slovakia. Slovenia, Slovakia, Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated. We're gonna do it. Sorry. At least 5 European countries have some sort of diplomatic ties with the government, including the Czech Republic, which never cut ties with Damascus. Greece reopened its embassy in Damascus in 2021. So like we said, a lot of moving and shaking going on across the pond. Why is this here? This is not supposed to be here. Yeah. Italy using the secret weapon on Assad, baked ziti, right? It's not a Trojan horse. It's going to be a Trojan calzone. So in Iran, they just had their elections for president, but the president is not the one who leads the nation. He's the guy, but he's not the guy, right? So the guy is the leader supreme, and he's the one that's got to give the blessing. So the leader of the Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah Syed Ali Khamenei, endorses Masoud Pezeshkian, these words, as Iran's 9th president. Yeah, no, it's Iran. It's fine. At a ceremony broadcast live on state television yesterday, the Ayatollah gave his official approval for the new president, who emerged victorious in the second round of the presidential vote earlier this month. Iranian state and military officials, seminary and university professors, representatives of various guilds, a group of families of martyrs, and foreign ambassadors in Tehran attended the ceremony. The leader's decree endorsing the mandate of President Pezeshkian, I hope I'm saying that guy's name right, was read out at the event by the head of the leader's office. In decree, the Ayatollah said the fate-determining test of the presidential election ended with calmness and sobriety in difficult conditions, thanks to the endeavors of people and officials, and the person chosen by the nation became ready to take on a great responsibility. So people there attending his inauguration. This was held after the martyred president Ibrahim Raisi was killed in that helicopter accident. So yeah, normalization and things. Iran's getting their shit together, getting their who knows what this guy's going to do, particularly once Trump's in office. I'm pretty sure Trump's going to be in office because, let's face it, if Kamala gets in there, there's going to be some serious. You talk about the Venezuelan elections. We probably should look at these elections and see, how somebody with 0 delegates, 0 votes, became president. She's like the Gerald Ford of the 21st century. Amazing. But that's how we do it. We're a crazy, crazy country. So Bibi was in town last week, and everybody in Congress kissed the ring. People that aren't kissing the ring, of course, is Hamas, and Hamas throwing shade at Congress for having all them testicles in their mouth. So, good news here. This is, where's this from? Oh, this is from Middle East Eye. Senior Hamas official denounces clowns who cheered Netanyahu's Congress speech. Izzat al-Rashik says Israeli premier will bear the consequences for his controversial address. basically just spouting nothing but lies during the whole time. And I believe Mike Johnson called him His Excellency. Senior member of Hamas's political bureau has attacked Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech to the U.S. Congress last week in a column published by Al Jazeera, referring to U.S. Congress members who gave several standing ovations to Netanyahu. He condemned the clowns who claimed to be leaders of the free world for praising the Israeli premier. Hey, Bella, good to see you. Morning extra specials. Yeah, extra special, all right. Which was funny, too, because, like, during the speech, he was talking about how they were so cultish in their standing ovations and applause that even he mentioned October 7th and them getting attacked, and they applauded that, too. And he's like, wait, you're going a little too on the nose with the script here, kids. Rishek accused Netanyahu of spreading accounts of the Hamas attack on Israel on 7 October, which he said were debunked by Palestinian, American, and international media outlets. Yeah, they had reported that most of it was the Hannibal directive. It was just like, shoot anything that moves. With the extent of his lies, he received applause from false witnesses, from members of Congress who chose to be sitting in the wrong place at a historical moment that would haunt them and record them as accomplices in that genocide, he said. Netanyahu's claim that Israel represents civilization and democracy shocked al-Rishek, who pointed out that Israeli warplanes were destroying the tents of defenseless refugees, burning children, women, and the elderly. Exactly. They are clowns. I mean, if we're gonna get into a little bit of opinion on this, of course they're clowns. We saw it. It was just disgusting. It was one of the most. It was like very Stepford wife kind of thing. Just very yes dear, yes dear, yes dear, whatever you say dear, yes dear, and it's pretty scary that these same people are the ones who vote on our military budgets. Yes. Some more from Middle East Eye over the weekend. With Israel-Lebanon tensions intensify after deadly Majd al-Sham's rocket strike. So this is when people were talking about that hit the Golan in the Golan Heights, the occupied Golan Heights, I should say. But Israeli officials insist on retaliation. They think it was probably from the decrepit Iron Dome, which is more like the Rust Dome right now. Fears of a wider conflict between Israel and Hezbollah have reached their highest point in months following a deadly rocket attack in the occupied Golan Heights. The attack on a football field in the Syrian Druze village on Saturday killed at least 12 children, with several others seriously wounded. Israeli and American officials said that Hezbollah was responsible for the attack. Of course, they're going to say Hezbollah is responsible. Lebanese armed group has denied involvement. Hezbollah and Israel have been engaging in hostilities since October 8th, a day after the start of the war on Gaza. And they had video. I didn't get a chance to grab it, but there was video from March in the same area where those missiles were launched. And yeah, they went too. They were just like going all over the place. Well, of course, Israel being the evil fucks that they are, they had to retaliate. Well, this was part of they'd actually retaliated in southern Lebanon. They killed two people, I think 2 people on a motorcycle or something there. But this was something else. This is the horrifying Israeli strike on girls' school in Gaza. Kills at least 30. I normally don't do a lot of this, how many people were killed in Gaza. We have enough independent journalists out there that are providing these numbers and photos and videos daily, so I'm not trying to hide it or anything, but if you want to seek that stuff out for yourself, that please do. But I'm just tying this to what had happened with this other in the Golan Heights. So the Khadija Girls School had a field hospital within the complex and was sheltering over 4,000 displaced Palestinians. This was Saturday, so Israeli airstrikes on a girls' school in Deir al-Balah, central Gaza, killed at least 30 people and wounded over 100 Saturday, the Palestinian Health Ministry said. The school was sheltering over 4,000 displaced Palestinians, according to civil defense officials in the enclave. A field office hospital was also operating inside the school complex. I'm so lucky to have survived Fidel Keshko, a 22-year-old man who was staying in the school with his sick grandmother and nephew, told Middle East Eye. The building I took shelter in was directly targeted. The distance between me and the rocket was just a meter away. I'm horrified and terrified. Keshko and his relatives have since fled to Khan Yunis, where the Israeli army is currently attacking areas previously designated as humanitarian zones. And that's been their MO this whole time, is telling Palestinians where safe zones are, and then promptly bombing those safe zones. But self-protection, right? That's what they're talking about. So Putin over the weekend, our buddy Putin, the guy in Russia, he's pretty much taking the gloves off now, I think. Rhetorically speaking, that is. He hasn't taken the gloves off for real when it comes to, turning the keys. Not yet. But he's still talking some shit about Germany and the United States. So, Putin warns the U.S. of Cold War-style crisis if missiles deployed to Germany. Now, we'd reported on that earlier, but this was him speaking about it over the weekend himself. He was delivering a speech during the annual Navy Day parade in St. Petersburg. He's warned the United States against deploying long-range missiles in Germany, saying Russia, in that case, would restart production of intermediate-range nuclear weapons and station familiar missiles within striking distance of the West. The U.S. on July 10th said it would start deploying long-range missiles in Germany from 2026 as part of a longer-term militarization that will include SM-6, Tomahawk cruise missiles, and developmental hypersonic weapons. In a speech to sailors from Russia, China, Algeria, and India to mark Navy Day, Putin on Sunday said the U.S. risked triggering a Cold War-style military missile crisis with the move. The flight time to targets on our territory of such missiles, which in the future may be equipped with nuclear warheads, will be about 10 minutes, he said. We will take mirror measures to deploy, taking into account the actions of the United States, its satellites in Europe, and in other regions of the world. So, not having it with
Polish foreign minister has offered to fill.
Lady, we're not ready for you. And things are getting serious too, right? I mean, it really is going to matter what happens in the next few months. Like what's going to happen up until Election Day, who's going to be president, and what they're going to do. I mean, they're probably just going to do what they've been told to do by their actual bosses, which are not the American people, by the way. We got a propagandist in the house. Willie says, ExtraBulla, my checks from George Soros and Vladimir Putin allows me to spread propaganda and live a lavish life of luxury. Yeah, you dropping them 10 spots. You dropping them rubles. Good for you, man. That's all right. We'll take your dirty money here at the show. We don't care. We ain't clean. We ain't got no integrity around here. Speaking of no integrity, Poland, the cuckold of Europe, saying, hey, all you Ukrainians coming over here, don't you want to go back home and fight? Well, I guess you don't really have a choice in the matter, Glavin. So, yeah, this is from RT. Disturbing news for Ukrainian refugees who thought they had escaped mobilization. It appears Poland is more than willing to send you back straight to the front line. Thanks, Poland.
The Polish foreign minister has offered to fill Kiev's shrinking military ranks with Ukrainian refugees who fled the country. Radosław Sikorski offered to train new recruits in the EU before promptly dispatching them to the front.
We as European countries need to help too. There are hundreds of thousands of potential recruits obliged to defend their homeland in EU countries, and Poland is in the vanguard of helping Ukraine to prepare these people for military service.
Well, let's take a look now at how Ukraine is trying to shore up recruitment internally. So in this video from the Black Sea port city of Odessa, a conscription officer drags a man right off the street. The would-be recruit, however, apparently managed to run away. Also in the Odessa region, customs officers caught over a dozen people trying to flee the nation, with officials saying that each man paid up to $10,000 for a one-way ticket out. Serbian-American journalist Nebojša Malic believes that the refugees who will be sent back from Poland to fight have little chance of survival.
I mean, if they decide to do that, there's really nothing stopping them aside from maybe some of these Ukrainian refugees filing a lawsuit before the European Court of Human Rights, and that will drag for years at best. Maybe seek an emergency injunction. I mean, lawfare is basically the only recourse they have left, because if they're sent home, their chances of dying in battle are almost, guaranteed. Even with extensive training, we've seen what happened last year during the so-called Grand Counteroffensive. All of these units that were trained in the U.S. By the Americans and the Europeans for months, they got slaughtered. So what are barely trained conscripts going to do any better? No. And so we've already had cases all across Europe of these asylum seekers who've committed crimes, people who have done horrible things and would get deported for these crimes. And they're filing appeals to the court saying, oh, no, but if I go back to my home country, I will get jailed, executed, whatever. And the courts are like, yeah, no, we can't deport you. Yes, you're a criminal. Yes, you're a violent criminal. Yes, you belong in jail, but we can't deport you to, I don't know, Afghanistan, whatever. Why would the Ukrainians, refugees living in Europe who have done nothing wrong, be sent to certain death? That's absurd. They have every right to try to seek relief. I think they're trying to terrify these Ukrainians into voluntarily enlisting in these training camps rather than wait to be rounded up on the streets of Poland as they have been on the streets of Ukraine.
Yep. So, dude's paying 10 large to go get out of Ukraine to go to Poland. And then they're like, gotta go back. Kate, good to see you, Kate. Kate up there in the Nordland, up there in Canada, she's talking about they're doing the same thing. They're sending them back too, because, Canadian cucks, just like United States cucks, just like Polish cucks, right? That's just a lovely time there. So don't go to Poland, kids, especially if you're Ukrainian. I wouldn't do that. But speaking of Ukraine, they found some money. This was the other day, but I didn't get a chance to put this in. We will find you fodder. That's right. We'll get you some warm bodies, Ukraine. Don't worry. They may not last long, but we'll get you some. So Connor Friedman over at antiwar.com has this little fun story for us. The Pentagon finds another $2 billion in Ukraine aid accounting errors. Oopsie sauce. How did that happen, scientists? The Pentagon discovered $2 billion in additional accounting errors regarding its valuation of missiles, ammo, and other equipment provided to Kiev. A government accountability office report found last Thursday. The Defense Department made a similar claim last year. Remember that? Saying it availed Washington of $6.2 billion in weapons to fuel the Ukraine proxy war with Russia. Right? That's their little side deals, how to get, without having to officially approve funds and stuff like that. And then we wonder why shit is stupid, because we keep, vote harder. Keep voting for these same clowns on the same teams. This This latest report brings the improperly valued military material to a total of $8.2 billion, with the error said to be a result of unclear accounting definitions. Whatever that means. In June 2023, the Pentagon insisted that weapons shipped to Ukraine from U.S. military stockpiles under the Presidential Drawdown Authority over the past few years were overvalued using the replacement value of the arms as opposed to the depreciated value. This bought the White House some time to continue sending weapons to Kiev after much of the U.S. funding then allocated for the war had dried up. So they're doing all this little shady, slick stuff on the side. Like, we got no money for you, but, oh, wait a minute. Let me check. What the hell? Where'd this come from? I must have found that in the wash. That's crazy time. Speaking of money, the cult's raising a lot of cash for cackling Kamala. It's happening, folks. This is from Al Jazeera. U.S. election 2024, Kamala Harris campaign raises $200 million in 1 week. $200 million, folks, in 1 week. A lot of things you could do with $200 million besides give it to Cacklepuss there. The campaign, which announced its latest fundraising total yesterday, said the bulk of the donations, 66%, came from first-time contributors, scared people, in the 2024 election cycle. Over 170,000 volunteers have also signed up to help the Harris campaign with phone banking, canvassing, and other get-out-the-vote efforts. And don't be fooled. A lot of these people are not new. These were already built-in operatives that were already helping Biden or whoever the Democratic nominee was going to be. They're the Democratic helpers, all right? The momentum and energy for Vice President Harris is real. This should have been under the propaganda watch. And so are the fundamentals of this race. This election will be very close and decided by a small number of voters in just a few states. Michael Tyler, the campaign's communications director, wrote in a memo. Donald Trump's campaign said in early July that it raised $331 million in the second quarter, topping $264 million that Biden's campaign and its Democratic allies raised in the same period. Trump's campaign had $284.9 million in cash on hand at the end of June, while the Democratic campaign had $240 million. Money, 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 but none for people who actually need it. Pretty messed up there. Yeah. So if you're wasting your money on politicians, first off, shame on you. Do you not know any better? Horny guys found out about Kamala's climb. The Willie Brown faction. Yeah. So I don't know if this thing has audio or not. Did I? Hang on just a second. One moment, please. Okay, that's not. Okay, it says it works. All right. So apparently there's some shenanigans too going on as this is from Seymour Hersh from via RT. Obama. This is wild. I hope this works. Obama threatened Biden with the 25th Amendment to force him out of the race, according to Seymour Hersh. Let's see what this says.
Did Barack Obama work behind the scenes to ensure Joe Biden wouldn't run for president again? That's the bombshell expose from Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Seymour Hersh, who claims Biden's former ally sought to get Biden swapped out for Kamala Harris ahead of November's election. One of the more notable but unconfirmed findings reveals that a threat to invoke a constitutional amendment made up President Biden's mind.
By Saturday, July 20th, former President Barack Obama was deeply involved, and there was talk that he would place a call to Biden. It was not clear whether Biden had been examined or just what happened to him in Las Vegas. On Sunday morning, the official told me, with the approval of Pelosi and Schumer, Obama called Biden after breakfast and said, "Here's the deal. We have Kamala's approval to invoke the 25th Amendment.
Here's the deal.
The amendment provides that when the president is determined by the vice president and others to be unfit to carry out the powers and duties of his office, the vice president shall assume those duties. The official, who has decades of experience in fundraising, told me that Obama emerged as the strongman throughout the negotiations. He had an agenda and he wanted to seek it through to the end, and he wanted to have control over who would be elected.
Intriguing, isn't it? Well, US documentary filmmaker Sean Stone says the upheaval within the US establishment raises yet more questions over just who is making the decisions in Washington.
Hersh's main points are that the media, the administration has not done its job, right? They kind of glossed over and hid the fact that I know people back in 2020, actually, even during the debates with Trump and thereafter, even in 21, we're already saying Biden is showing signs of dementia. Remember, up to the point of fundraiser in Hollywood, where you have Clooney and Julia Roberts, and Biden just seems to freeze on stage. He looked like he was lost. He was waiting for someone, and Obama came over and escorted him off the stage, which we've seen throughout, the last year or so, that he needs to be escorted. He seems lost. He stumbled. I mean, all these things that are clear. So who is really running things? Again, it doesn't mean that Biden has no cognitive ability, but certainly it brings into question who has been running and making decisions in this administration. There's a difference between withdrawing from the election in November and going for another 4 years and being forced out of office right now in July, right? Or August. That's a difference. And I think whatever Biden's cognitive abilities, he has to recognize that it would be a tremendous embarrassment if his administration and his government hasn't been an embarrassment enough. It would be a real stain to be the first president pushed out of office by the 25th Amendment.
Yeah, I think that was Oliver Stone's kid. But yeah, I mean, everybody knows. Excuse me. Or maybe, I think a lot of people have surmised that Obama has been pulling the strings behind the scenes. I mean, that's not a real stretch of the imagination there. And for him, I mean, basically, what it sounds like to me, it was Obama versus Jill Biden. I think Jill Biden was the main one who was urging Joe to stay in the race. Obviously, she wanted to be first lady still. She wanted to remain, in the White House. So that's power, right? And Obama said, well, looks like we're going to need to get you out of there. I think we have to pull the 25th on you, Joe. Don't want to do that, Joe, but yeah, we're going to get you out of there, Joe. And sure enough, happy trails to you. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of our news block. I told you we were going to go back to the Olympic stuff. Some people, I mean, I don't know what the poll says. It looks like not a lot of people really give a fuck about the Olympics. Like 79% of our folks here said, while only 21% said we. But if you are interested, we're just going to run down a few things. I got something really cool at the end there. I think you're going to like. So here, this is from NBC News. This is the one, NBC is the one that's broadcasting Paris. So if you could probably see here, this is the quick medal count right here. The United States with 3 gold, 6 silver, and 3 bronze with 12 overall. Ooh, excuse me. You got China with 5 gold medals, 2 silver, and 2 bronze, and France, the host, with 3 gold, 4 silver, 2 bronze. If you're not interested in the Olympics, you may change your mind because they've got some new stuff. They have new sports. And breakdancing is one of them, right? You like the shots of the really tall fake Joe Biden? Yeah, I know, right? There was one, he was like giant Joe Biden. There's like regular Joe Biden. It's just like the Saddam Hussein's. There was body doubles for him too. So breakdancing to debut, climbing, surfing among returning events. I never knew they had surfing. That's how much I don't pay attention to these things. So this year's Olympics will look a little different. In addition to the typical events people look out for, such as gymnastics, blah, blah, blah. They have stuff like breakdancing. After captivating the hip-hop world for the past few decades, breakdancing, referred to as breakin' by the IOC, or breakin' 2 electric boogaloo, depends on your choice, will make its Olympic debut in Paris. The sport previously debuted at the 2018 Summer Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, Argentina. There will be 2 events for men and women where 16 competitors will showcase their skills in spectacular solo battles. The athletes will use a combination of moves, including the windmill, 6 steps, and freezes, to improvise their choreography to a DJ's tracks, ultimately hoping to wow the judges and bring home the first breaking medals in Olympic history. I mean, if you're not popping and locking, though, I mean, what are you even doing? Why are you even competing? There's sports climbing. Apparently that's the thing. If you just want to climb real fast. Skateboarding. It debuted in Tokyo. 22 men and 22 women will compete park and street. And in the preliminary and the final rounds, they'll be judged on degree of difficulty, speed, and range of moves. What else? Surfing. Surfing features 48 athletes descending upon Tahiti to ride the famous Tihopa wave. Wait, Tahiti? I thought they were doing this in France. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so there's surfing, and there's that shit. What else we got for you? Oh, wait. What was this? Oh, okay. So, I thought this was... I watched none of the Olympic opening, but I heard about this, and I said, oh my God, we got to play this for the kids.
Les aristocrates à la lanterne, Syria. Les aristocrates, on les pendra. What?
Gojira! Gojira! Look at that! That's supposed to be blood! It's supposed to be blood! Gojira live at the Civic Center with special guest Crocus. We don't charge money, we charge blood and pain.
Oh my, that was incredible.
Fuck yeah, that was incredible. And a little happy for you, if you look down in the description below, I got a link to the full song. It's Gojira. And the name of the song is called Mea Culpa. So if you're looking for it on Spotify, it's on there too, I think. Couldn't play the whole song because... but yeah, so they were depicting the French Revolution. And the head there of Marie Antoinette, with that little thing she was saying, apparently that was a song they were actually singing in the French Revolution. It made something like Off With Her Head and Let Him Eat Cake, but, you know, not like, make sure it's Drake's Coffee Cake. Otherwise, it's just, might be off. So, yeah, man. And the show with the little rock and roll hoochie coo, that was good stuff. I totally enjoyed that. And I ain't gonna lie, I probably played that clip to myself about 20 times. And it was mighty, mighty fine. We got Check UFO over on Rumble. Thank you so much for showing up. And of course, Kate over on Rockfin and all our other peeps here on YouTube. I believe that's it for today. Willie? I don't know. Willie's probably asleep. I don't think Willie's doing a show today. If not, just look out for him. He's on YouTube. Of course, Around the World with Dee and friends tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. The hardest working lady in independent media. She always has good insight and information about it, particularly what's going on over in Gaza, in the Middle East, and all the fuckery that Israel's doing. So, hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. Clips will be out tomorrow for this, and we will be back on Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great day, everyone. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you, Willie. So, yeah, tomorrow, Miss Jimmy will be back with Willie for Bragland tomorrow. So be looking out for, if you're subscribed to Willie, you'll be getting the notification. If not, be sure to subscribe to Willie Bragg's show and to Bragland, their separate channel as well. So I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you everybody who showed up today, and thank you and respect to Bella and Miguel and Desert Mantis and Willie, Ed Heller and John Kemper, of course Kate, Chuck, and everybody else. I hope I got everybody. I think I did. Yeah, if I missed you, as always, we'll aim better next time. John, Willie, thanks again for the donations. Appreciated. That will go to my crack fund. Not smoking crack, but keeping my ass clean. The other crack. Yeah, we brought that back. See ya.
This is City Alpha 5! Woo! Damn good song, wasn't it, dog? You like that song? All right.